You're watching Long Beach Local News. Breaking news, community, politics, sports, entertainment in Long Beach, California.
Hello and welcome to Top Trends in Long Beach with myself, Yasmine Tanres. On Wednesdays, with Top Trends in Long Beach, we highlight topics that are trending on a national and local level, featuring special guests from Long Beach as part of an in-studio conversation. Now, as President Trump announces mass immigration raids post-Independence Day, this Saturday, the Democratic Socialists of America, known as the DSA in Long Beach, along with the Long Beach Anarchist Collective that go by LBAC, as well as other organizations, are hosting a rally to get #ICE out of Long Beach. ICE stands for Immigration, Customs and Enforcement, who deal with undocumented people in the country. And now today in studio, we have Jordan Doring, part of the DSA, to talk to us about the rally this Saturday and the overall current situation. Thank you for being with us here in studio today. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you for joining us here. So talk to us a little bit about the DSA. What is it all about? How long has it been around for? And what do you do specifically in Long Beach?
Sure. So we are a volunteer organization of about 30,000 members. I've been around for about 40 years, the Long Beach chapter for about 3 or so. We do a lot of different issues. We're a leftist, obviously socialist organization that tries to empower its workers and the marginalized communities. Locally, we've done things like got involved with the rent control fight a few years ago. We helped pass the current Long Beach sanctuary law that has some problems, obviously. And then we've also done work around the LGBTQ community.
Well, there's a lot of work that you all do as an organization here. So what are your tactics and how did you get involved with the DSA?
Sure. So we have a lot of different tactics. Obviously, rallies and marches is one we use a lot. We also apply pressure to the local city councils and council and things like that by giving public comment, putting pressure on local politicians, things like that. And a lot of our work is just working within the community and organizing that way. Yeah.
And how did you specifically get involved with DSA and why?
Sure. I got involved a few years ago because I had seen everything that was happening, not just post-Trump. And a lot of us in DSA were political before that. It's just we all kind of hung on to the DSA after that election because at least for me personally, I saw the things that were, like, obviously, as liberals would say, the breaking down of norms, and none of them were really able to grapple with that. And DSA is a leftist organization that kind of realizes that these norms and a lot of these institutions are not good for workers and marginalized communities anyway. So I kind of went to them because they have a different perspective, like how to actually grapple with things beyond, like, oh, Trump got elected, this is really bad, what are we going to do? We actually have a more clear vision. So that's what kind of inspired me.
So also, as another point, it's to clarify that you're not a political party, you're more of a political organization as such.
Yeah.
And so now talk to us a little bit about the rally that's going on this Saturday. It's at the Harvey Milk Park, and it's from 10 until 12. How did that come about? And it's the first year that the DSA is actually organizing this, right?
Yeah. So we were involved with the Familias Unidas March last year. We helped out with that, and this one we're kind of spearheading, and other orgs are helping us out as well. It came about, obviously this is an issue we always care about, but things have gotten particularly bad lately. So we thought now would be a good time to do a rally to kind of raise awareness about the fact that there is an ICE office in Long Beach off Ocean Boulevard. So that kind of that's what inspired us to do it. And when we proposed it, a lot of other organizations came together and were like, oh, we were thinking about having a similar rally around this time. We would love to join in because just by osmosis, a lot of people want.
Right. I mean, it's such a hot topic right now. And let's jump into the wider spectrum of it, because as soon as Trump was elected as president, a month later, let's say, Homeland Security started going after not just undocumented migrants who have a criminal record, but also that don't have a criminal record. And so those are being prosecuted, deported, detained, and that's obviously creating a lot of separations within their communities and families and things. And so, what are your thoughts about that tactic? Because Obama was going more, that administration was going more for those that are undocumented, but with a criminal record. Whereas Trump's administration, what is happening, the numbers of those who have a criminal record are going down, whereas it's more like it's everybody, it seems.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts of that tactic?
So we obviously feel that's unethical, of course, but also we talk about this a lot, the idea that under the Trump administration, things have gotten worse for the undocumented community. And while that is true, we need to remember that President Obama deported more people than all the other presidents, previous presidents combined. So even though he claimed he was only going after like dangerous criminals and things like that, he was still devastating the undocumented community by deporting a lot of people. And you raise a good point. Trump explicitly says he will just go after criminals, but people who are not criminals, right? But in our city, Long Beach, we actually are only partially a sanctuary city. This is a good example because the Long Beach police will not work with ICE unless the person has even a minor criminal conviction, which kind of invalidates the whole point of being a sanctuary. Because let's say you get pulled over by the police now and you have a vandalism charge from the 90s due to racist policing, you can be deported through Long Beach.
Let's say if they don't have a criminal history, then they will not act upon it here in Long Beach. Is that the case?
Yeah, Long Beach police will not, due to the Long Beach Values Act.
And that's something similar as to the LAPD have also stated that most recently too. So ICE officials have built this whole target list for mass raids to meet a quota. Do you know anything about the inner workings of those mass raids and for mass deportation?
I'm not really familiar with their inner workings. We haven't, as far as I know recently, we haven't heard of any mass raids in Long Beach that I know of.
Okay, but anything that has occurred here in Long Beach that you may be aware of?
Definitely. So there has been a lot of deportations. Just last week, the Community Defense Network responded to a call. To give some context, the Community Defense Network is a group of people that comes together during ICE raids and records to help out the person being raided in court and things like that. Someone actually did get deported, or they haven't been deported yet, but they've been detained. So just last week, and then the undocumented community has been telling us about a lot of people who haven't even called into the network that have been getting deported.
So talk to us a little bit about that Community Defense Network. How long have they been around for? And there's a hotline as well that people can contact?
Sure, yeah. So the Community Defense Network has been around for a while. It used to be called Negro Watch, rebranded recently. So the idea is that any undocumented people that are going through, if you see an ICE raid, you call the hotline number, which is 562-269-1083, or you can go to lbcdn.org. And the idea is we're trying to protect the undocumented community as best we can because obviously the city isn't really doing much to do that. So we're trying to fill that gap, help the undocumented folks.
Okay. So ICE officials do argue about the fact that these undocumented migrants essentially have broken the law by staying in the United States, prolonging over their visa stay and being here illegally. What are your thoughts about that? About their arguments?
Yeah, definitely. So us and a lot of community members reject that premise because, well, it is technically a minor civil crime to overstay your visa and things like that. It's A, not a criminal charge. B, more importantly, we have invited these people here for decades. We made them part of our communities. We've employed them. They provide a lot of services, and more importantly, they're just part of the Long Beach community. So the idea that just because they're technically framed as illegal, we don't feel that is a valid label and moral.
Now, very recently on Monday, Trump tweeted something out which had to do with the family OP, as ICE and Homeland Security call it, which is basically targeting around about 2,000 migrant families in 10 cities such as Houston, Chicago, Miami, and LA. What are your thoughts about Trump sharing these things so publicly? And what do you think his tactic is there as well?
Oh, well, obviously, this is different from Obama. He uses deportation as a political tool to drum up fear and white supremacy and just racist sentiments among the American people to try to kind of inflame his base. So that's why he's so public about it. And that's not the reason we're having the rally. We're having the rally because we want ICE out of Long Beach, but a lot of interest has also been generated by the fact that he's so public about it, which obviously his administration is terrible, but one of the good things is that there's more awareness among the large majority of mostly liberal folks in Long Beach who, under the previous administration, kind of just thought everything's okay, bad people get deported, I don't really worry about it. But now him making it more public kind of raises awareness of the fact that it can happen to anyone who's undocumented and not unethical.
Well, now that we're touching upon the rally there, what is the importance? Why is it important to abolish the ICE, the office over here in Long Beach?
Sure. It's important to abolish the ICE office in Long Beach and ICE in general because ICE does not keep us safe. They do not protect us. What they do is they pull people out of the community, send them back to countries that they have either only lived in when they were very young or they're 30 years ago or something and could be killed, things like that. ICE was only formed in 2003. A lot of people talk like ICE is like this long-standing American institution that must be protected. They are not. They only formed in 2003, and they just make our undocumented community feel unsafe. They have, as you've probably seen on the recent news, they do a lot of very unethical things to the undocumented community, not just in their detention centers, but also during their raids.
Well, talking about unethical things, it was Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez who had commented about these immigration camps essentially being like concentration camps. What are your thoughts about that comment?
I think what she said is totally valid for a lot of reasons. If you've seen the photos, a lot of these cells, as you could call them, are holding double the capacity they're supposed to. A lot of people can't sit down. A lot of people are very sick. They're wearing masks. They have these maybe like a thermal blanket, and that's it, and they're sleeping on hard concrete floors. I mean, these are worse than American prisons are some of the worst in the world. We incarcerate the most people of any country, but even by our standards, it's incredibly inhumane what's happening to undocumented people, who are, a lot of them, by the way, are legally applying for asylum. So they're going to the border, they're turning themselves in and saying, I would like to apply for asylum, and instead of how we used to do it a lot, where they would either stay with a family member in the U.S. while that was being processed, now they're getting thrown in a concrete cell with 40 other people with not enough food and water.
Yeah, or possibly even being turned away to Guatemala is what I'm hearing right now as well. So what is your message to Long Beach, the people of Long Beach, to get a better understanding as to what the rally is all about, what the DSA does, but also the overall spectrum of the immigration situation here in this country?
Sure, definitely. So the message with this rally is obviously that we want to get ICE out of Long Beach. So that means specifically closing the Long Beach ICE office on Ocean Boulevard. Another one of our big goals is making us what's called a clean sanctuary city. So right now, Long Beach is not really a sanctuary city in our opinion because the Long Beach Values Act passed. It created exceptions for anyone with a minor criminal conviction of almost any kind spanning back many decades, which creates a problem because, for example, our mayor, Robert Garcia, talks a lot about how he empathizes with the undocumented community and used to be undocumented himself, I believe, but still lets this unfair, unethical policy of allowing the Long Beach PD to work with ICE under certain situations pass. So that's kind of our two big things locally. Makes sense? And then nationally, we're calling for an abolition of ICE, a release of everyone in these detention centers, and obviously letting all the undocumented people in the country stay here legally, because that's the right thing to do.
So end deportation and
Yes.
abolish ICE.
Yes,
That is
exactly.
the aim. That is
Yeah.
the aim. Okay. Well, if anybody is interested in being part of the rally or helping and supporting, how can they find you and connect and volunteer or in any form be involved?
Sure, definitely. So our rally is happening at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Harvey Milk Cart down on 3rd Street. We're going to have several speakers there. If you want to support the undocumented community and get ICE out of Long Beach, please come on down. We'd love to have you. If you see an ICE raid happening, I would encourage you to please call 562-269-1083. That's the Community Defense Network, where people can respond and record the incident to help out the undocumented person being kidnapped by ICE.
Well, thank you so much, Jordan, for joining us here today and for clarifying. So If anybody would like to get involved, check out the rally as well, and we'll be covering it too. So that's it for today on Top Trends in Long Beach. If there's a hot topic in Long Beach you'd like us to discuss with a panel, please get in touch by email lblnteam@gmail.com or hashtag TTLB for any posts. And do check out our website to stay up to date with your local news on longbeachlocalnews.com. Also follow us on social media at Long Beach Local News, and don't forget to hit those notification buttons to know when we go live and for any other news updates. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Yasmine Tanres. See you next time.